Special edition. We are heading into the international break. We know what that means. Very little football to talk about. Of course, a lot of countries will be knowing what's going on in those qualifiers elsewhere. In Uganda here, we have now finally crashed out of the qualifiers for the AFCON, the next edition. Your thoughts, Timothy, on that run that the Cranes have had?
I think, Tony, it's disappointing being a Ugandan, and I think we had set up a precedence starting about 2018 where we
were qualifying all the time.
Qualifying for African Cup, but it seems we are now going into back the days of pain where we spent over 30 years without playing the AFCON. It's a bare minimum that you would expect a country like Uganda to do. But I think it goes back to the games against Tanzania at home. Of course, we didn't have a home this time, but
do you think it has played a part?
It has played a part. I think Uganda was really is a country of football, and every time we have all the support going for it, especially in the Namboole Stadium, we achieved the result. But the team looks new, Tony. I think they're playing well, but this new team is now to gel and get to basics, and then I think they should be able to qualify for the next edition, missing out in the forthcoming.
Of course, we missed out. Uganda Cranes won their game away to Niger 2-0. But of course, that draw between Algeria and Tanzania meant that Tanzania qualified in our place. They are worse than us, if you really trust me in footballing terms. I don't think they're a team that's bigger than the Uganda Cranes. But that's what the international break means. So Uganda has finally bowed out of the AFCON, the upcoming edition. Very interesting. And of course, there were other results elsewhere. But the week has definitely been marred or covered in a lot of Arsenal versus Manchester United memes. It's been a very, very interesting one, more so for Arsenal fans, but not so much for Manchester United fans. That was a huge clash, team, at the last weekend.
I think the post result tells you that it was very huge, and it's a big result for Arsenal. I think it will be sort of a stepping stone. We saw Arsenal was not that definitive in the first 3 games, but I think the win against Man United is like now a trigger for Arsenal to now see if they can go ahead and win 5.
The result was good.
Yeah.
What about the nature of the win? The goals coming in additional time.
I think the nature also defines the new Arteta philosophy, or even
pushing till the end.
Yeah, the team pushes to the end. I think before Arsenal would have looked at the 90th minute and gone away with the draw, but this team will keep going. And I was impressed even at 2-1. They still had.
They were still pushing for more.
To get the 3rd goal. So it tells you that this Arsenal, Tony, is assembled to now challenge, not just to participate.
No, it was a very, very big result for Arsenal fans, and of course for Mikel Arteta. We know that even last season they won with the last gasp winner from Ketia. But this game looked very cagey in the extra time. There was a goal disallowed for Garnacho. Yeah. Let's talk about the VAR decisions that were made in this particular fixture, Timothy. There were shouts for penalties on both ends, one on Højlund and of course one on Kai Havertz. Yeah. Were they penalties in your opinion?
The one of Kai Havertz was given real time in the field
by the referee.
It was rightly ruled out for me, I think so. Højlund, he looks to be fouled, but usually in football, when the striker or the attacking player gets back on his feet immediately, then VAR does not come back to officiate that kind of scenario. I thought it was unfair, but again, if you get up, it means the contact was minimal on you. So I do agree with both decisions.
And then there was the goal that was ruled out for Alejandro Garnacho in the extra time.
Yeah.
This, Timothy, we talk about fine margins.
Yeah.
I couldn't understand how that line was drawn in my head. I really didn't get it. Up to now, I'm still wondering.
Tony, if you are on the Arsenal side, you will be happy and say maybe this is why VAR came in. If you're on Man United side, you'll be asking yourself,
you'll be hard done by.
This is hard done, yeah, because it's very close. But I think VAR is there to make the final decision. And I thought those lines were drawn well, and I think, to me, well played Gabriel. He is the one who was thoughtful in that moment.
I think it was really...
So it's not about VAR, but for me,
I couldn't get it.
Gabriel did the perfect. And that win, I think, it's Gabriel who earned it to Arsenal.
It was very, very interesting because that game could have gone both ways.
Yeah.
Of course, we saw very, very interesting selections in this particular one, Arteta going back to his typical back four
Exactly,
that we were more used to. I think that perhaps gave him a bit of an impetus in this
Outside
game.
Partey, that is Arsenal's best 11, I think. Maybe Jesus for
Nketiah.
Nketiah, but that looked like the Arsenal 11.
Very, very interesting. Of course, on the Arsenal side, we're still seeing a lot of fan backlash coming out for Kai Havertz. He gave really a blind ball
glorious chance,
for the first game and for the first goal, and he missed a very glorious chance. So there's still a lot of jury out for Kai Havertz in that particular game. Very, very interesting affair. That one for Manchester United.
Yeah.
We saw a back four that now looks like it will be in the next game against Brighton. It will be Maguire alongside Johnny Evans. Your thoughts?
Yeah, Tony, I think it would be the one. But if you look at the post-match press conference for Erik ten Hag, he did say Lindelof was pulled out because he was ill before the game. So maybe he will come back because he actually went to the Swedish camp. But for me,
And Lisandro Martinez has also traveled.
even Martinez has
for
struggled and is training with Argentina. So it's likely that that pairing is going to come back for the Brighton game. We don't know for sure the extent of their injuries. I thought both centre halves had got yellow cards. Maybe Ten Hag was cautious that there could be a red card in that game. I think if it is not that back four, then it's trouble for Man United. I think Brighton can turn their game any day, but the hope is that the rightful centre backs are present. Otherwise, if it is Maguire and Evans, I don't think that pairing is a Premier League pairing.
No, it was certainly very, very interesting in that fixture to see Maguire coming and playing alongside Evans, who was resigned for a one-year contract with Manchester United after a while out to Leicester, and of course he's been globe-trotting almost. Very interesting there. There was a bit of the midfield, Timothy, for Manchester United. It still looks like it's a bit sluggish. Eriksen tried to inject a bit of his creativity. We saw it for the goal that Rashford scored. But Casemiro still looks a bit slightly off the pace. Do you think the coach starts to look around and maybe start giving a few minutes to Scott McTominay?
I think there are big decisions that the Man United coach has to make. I don't think Casemiro has started very well like he did last year. You look at maybe Amrabat. Can he be the one to take up the Casemiro role?
There's a shout that he might be injured.
Yeah, he could be injured for the next 5 weeks. But I mean, long term, I don't think Casemiro needs to play because he's looked a shadow of himself. Then you look at Eriksen. He is brilliant, but energy-wise,
he needs energy in the midfield.
So McTominay then comes in. So for me, I would think McTominay and maybe Amrabat, and allow Bruno to roam. Don't allow him to come back to support these aging guys in the midfield. So Man United has a lot to do. I've looked at that team and I was thinking, when is the next window? This team still needs to buy more players, Tony, and it's going to be trouble for Man United. Even the top four now is going to become a harder ask for United.
Of course, it was certainly very interesting. We saw against Tottenham Hotspur how their midfield got run over almost. And then against Arsenal also, I thought they didn't get really a grip on the game in midfield. Of course, for people to come out and say that Declan Rice was the man of the match, it means that perhaps he was running the midfield. He was showing his brilliance there, which of course he had another good, well-taken goal in that particular affair. Up front, we saw the introduction of Højlund. Your thoughts on him?
Number one, not enough time. I think he did not get enough minutes. I thought he'd get maybe 30 plus because I think
in a game like that where you're hunting for win,
a freshly fit Højlund, Tony, is better than a fit Martial because he runs the channels. And I thought twice in the game he had movement that tried to confuse the Arsenal defense. If that is how he's going to move, and then United...
He was in the build-up for the Garnacho goal as well.
Yep, he was involved at build-up. I think he had a flick there.
Very nice flick.
Yep, and he had with the shout for the penalty. It was him again. It's not good to
I'll tell you what I think. He showed that he's going to be a beast in this league.
I think so.
He really disturbed Gabriel when he came on.
These lightweight defenders are going to suffer with.
No, it will be very, very interesting to watch.
It could be just a downgrade on Haaland, and just deep on Haaland is a good striker.
Is he a left-footed striker? I
Yes,
think
he's left-footed.
I saw
He's a
left.
Haaland-like. He's left-footed.
No, I'm excited about this guy. I was excited even before the game. I thought Manchester United would throw